Hey guys, Buddha here for the third game of this best of 3 series. So this is the last one. It will decide who moves on and who goes back home. Our two players, of course, are mouzThorZain against JulyZerg. ThorZain won the TSL 3 and won that last game. He actually played very well, and July, out of position with his Broodlords, just lost the game, then stayed in the game for about 5 minutes just to recompose himself and get ready for this third game, so it should be epic. July in Code S in the GSL actually heading to the semifinals, never actually winning the whole tournament, but very good Korean player. Now this is from the Dreamhack Summer 2011 tournament, and the map is Crossfire. Crossfire, a map where there are many attack paths, so this is very good for the Zerg, but with all these little different ledges, the Terran can actually put some siege tanks on another ledge and snipe the units on the opposing ledge quite easily. So that is something we will most likely see in this ZvT, since ThorZain did get a lot of siege tanks in his last 2 games. So we will most likely see the same build. You can see he already is getting gas so that he can get a factory as soon as this barracks finishes. Well, not as soon, but soon enough. Now, July actually going for a fast expansion here, which is particular on this map. You actually see players usually go for that fast gas pool to get those lings out just to defend, but you know that ThorZain doesn't usually go for an all-out 2 racks attack. If he does go for 2 racks, he will expand behind this and not put as much pressure as other players like to. It is, of course, just to keep the Zerg in his base while he can expand. Now, 2 supply depots walling off that front door means that there is not going to be any 2 racks pressure. Now, 60 gas already. As soon as he hits that 100 gas, he will have 150 minerals for that factory. His orbital command almost done, very normal. Still no gas for JulyZerg, so he does not want that lig speed. He will stay in his 2 bases for at least now. Probably going to defend with a spine crawler in front and 2 queens. Hopefully he will connect these 2 bases with creep this time. You can see a bunker going up for ThorZain, but that is not to do any kind of pressure. It is just to force some drones off the mineral lines. There is a second marine coming here, but that is not going to do any kind of pressure. Again, it's just to force this little reaction from JulyZerg. Just July has to do this or he will lose. Losing actually 1 drone here, you don't want to lose any drones to this pressure, because this isn't meant to do anything except deny some mining time. Now that 6 lings are out, JulyZerg should not have lost that single drone. I mean, by the time the Marines got back to the base, these lings would have popped out and he would have been fine. Now, ThorZain actually losing one Marine and will lose this SCV eventually to that attack, so fair trade here. Now, July was able to get those 2 expansions up, the first queen and the second queen, already spawning larva, 1 spine crawler in front, so that is how he is going to defend. Gas going up at the expansion. I don't know why he's actually doing this, but why not? I guess he should have a good reason for this, or maybe it's just where he was looking at the time he needed gas. Now, ThorZain naturally getting a command center behind this, already a factory with a tech lab and a starport, so we might be seeing the same build, just now getting the second gas, so there might be a Banshee actually switching it with the tech lab. We do see the first Banshee coming out, now getting the second gas. You usually see the second gas a bit earlier than this if you are going Banshee, but at least we know there is not going to be any cloak coming up soon, because he does not have even close to the gas required for this. Another tech lab going on the factory, so he will transition into Tank Thor and Marines, that build that he so loves and is very famous for. That is how he basically won the TSL. No one knew how to play against him. If you did not see the TSL finals, they are epic. Go check them out. So during this little lull of the game, I will say that I got 1,000 views on my YouTube channel just tonight, so that is awesome. Since my channel has only been up for 2 weeks now, I have a lot of videos. I actually uploaded about I think it was 11 videos 2 days ago, so check them out if you have not seen them. And my live stream right now, I have a few viewers. If you want to know when I'm going live, I am recording these live. If you want to know, just follow me on Justin TV, and you will receive a small email when I am live. Now, this Banshee almost making his way to the expansion of JulyZerg. Of course, July already spotted it and made extra queens. He does know or believe that there is no cloak going down soon enough because he doesn't even have an Evo chamber or any kind of detection. And he is right. This Banshee getting 5 kills, so that is 5 workers killed total. Not too big of a deal. ThorZain actually still ahead in harvester count, but still only on 1 base. That is why his income isn't as high as it could be. But with those mules, you will see that mule just landing right now, you will see that income skyrocket. So that second command center right now just being used for mules and for extra SCV production. He will soon move down here since his first siege tank is up and throw down a bunker. There he goes. Now a few banelings being morphed in just to be safe. Now 4 queens on the map for JulyZerg, so he really wants that creep spread going, and now putting a creep tumor down to connect these 2 bases. Almost there, but not quite yet. And I feel like July should have better creep spread here since he does have a lot of queens. Saving up that energy now pooping creep, and that creep spread will be on the way. Now lair already done, still no tech choice, deciding to get an overseer just in case that these banshees have a cloak. And a spire on the way for JulyZerg. So I wonder if he's actually gonna use that spire as he did in the first Shakura's Plateau game, where he only got 7 mutas and then transitioned into mass roaches, lings, and banelings. Those mutas just for map control, just to pressure ThorZain into getting Thors. And then roaches are actually fairly decent against Thors, and eventually getting Broodlords out. Or will he go for that mass muta play like he did last game? Didn't really work out for him, but it was just by mispositioning his Broodlords that he lost that game. He actually demonstrated some very, very good muta control in the last game. Now tanks are sieged up, should be targeting these banelings. Now huge baneling shots, wiping out almost all the Marines and a tank. Too bad that July doesn't actually have lings to clean this up. A few Marines still on the high ledge here. Gonna clean up the rest of the lings. A macro hatch blocking the ramp here for JulyZerg. Nice little position. Don't want anything running up the ramp for free. Now trying to get a flank with these lings. Still not many units on the field for JulyZerg. Only 11 Zerglings and 50 drones and 4 queens. These 4 queens can't really engage this because siege tanks are so good. They do have 175 health and only take 35 damage, so they can tank a lot of damage from the tanks, but they don't do much damage to the tanks anyways. So now 21 lings and 5 mutas should be able to clean this up, especially since there are only 5 marines. He will target those with the lings and the mutas, and as soon as they are out, he will be able to clean up these tanks and that medevac. That Viking not even getting a single shot out before he dies. Now losing 1 muta, not big of a deal against 3 tanks and a handful of marines. Very good trade. Actually going to snipe out the rest of these forces. These marines dying for their country, and this tank will not be able to get back home. Maybe one of these 2 medevacs actually lifting up the tank, but now losing the medevac with the tank. And now JulyZerg actually counter-attacking, not very wise since there is a bunker and a ton of SCVs to repair. Trying to put some pressure, now morphing banelings. I believe he will try and actually bust this bunker down, and if the SCVs actually come and repair it, ThorZain will suffer a lot of SCV losses. Now losing some SCVs to the muta harass. Great muta control again by JulyZerg, really keeping all of them alive. Now trying to bust the bunker. The siege tanks doing huge damage, and the lings actually preventing the Banelings from hitting the bunker. Now one Baneling in the mineral line, injuring all of these SCVs. They will go down to single Mulus fire, now killing a lot of SCVs. 21 workers killed by JulyZerg, make that 22, and these Mutas still very much alive and doing huge damage in the main base now. 34 to 49 harvesters. Meanwhile, July is expanding, that expansion almost up, killing one more worker. Gonna try and harass the refinery just a bit, but these Marines are here to save the day. And a lot of losses here from ThorZain. That is a little blunder here by JulyZerg, losing one, maybe almost losing a second Muta. And no, that is not where you want to engage. July losing all these Mutas for absolutely nothing. Huge blunder here. Those Mutas are crucial. Every single one of them is so expensive. You need to keep them alive. So now only 6 Mutas on the field. He could have easily had 10 right now. And 10 is almost enough to two-shot a turret. So that is the big difference between that 6 and 10 Mutalist count. And one Marine just chilling down here, spawning for anything, just waiting for his death. Now July actually taking the gold base, his third base almost saturated, not quite yet. You see the production tab not making any drones yet, so he will be sticking to the 77 drones that he has. He is going to transfer these eventually because these mineral patches are running out. And the Mutas being pesky, these two Marines running away with their lives, but won't make it back home to their families. Unfortunately, they are dying. This Ling are gonna prevent the command center from actually landing here. And if these Mutas could just intercept this right now, I don't even think that these Marines couldn't make it up here in time. But he does not, unfortunately. Now more Mutas on the field now. 10 already and more in production. 4 more in production, as well as Burrow, melee attacks level 1, as well as flyer attack level 1, and Baneling speed. Now that gold base is up and transferring drones there. So the income tab showing that JulyZerg very much ahead, especially in that very crucial gas count. Without gas, a little blunder here by July, losing again 4 Mutas. He can't keep throwing Mutas away like this. He would have about 20 Mutas instead of these 7 if he had controlled those a bit better. Not very pro-esque of July here, but with all these Banelings and Lings, he should be able to fend this off. Baneling speed now almost done, finishing right now. As you can see, these Banelings will start rolling. No landmines yet for July. He's gonna try and go get a flank on these tanks. Very wise. This little group of Marines will actually pick off a few Overlords here. Now these Banelings coming and trying to clean this up. Counterattack from July in the main base. I don't know if ThorZain actually has an answer for this. A lot of turrets, but a lot of Lings killing these turrets. A lot of SCVs going down. 24 now killed. This orbital command getting sniped by the Lings and the Mutas. And one mule actually going down. I think that is his sign, his way of saying GG. Maybe he was trying to just repair it though. But ThorZain miles behind now, 109 to 178 supply. Make that 115 to 178. Now these Mutas will keep harassing these tanks. They could even engage and kill off those Marines. Not anymore because they found their friends. But with this amount of Lings and Banelings, I don't see ThorZain actually holding this. These tanks are so vulnerable to Mutas right now. If July actually finds it, he will be able to pick him off, but too bad. He just decides to run straight up into the tanks, and there is going to be nothing left of ThorZain after this attack. ThorZain still has that third base. Nice spread here, never giving up. Spreading these Marines one by one, but with this Muta attack, he will lose the rest of his forces. And actually no turrets here, only 3 Marines. So if the Mutalists make their way to this third base, there is no defense for ThorZain there. And if you pull out the income tab, You can see that JulyZerg is miles ahead. No gas actually from ThorZain, so exclusive marine production now, and these mutas will clean up these marines and the tanks. Some more SCVs gonna be picked off, and GG, well played from ThorZain. And that was game 3. JulyZerg taking the series and advancing in the Dreamhack tournaments. Thanks for watching, guys, and look for more games in the future.